Good morning, John. Here we are in another day in paradise. Although it's a very dry paradise, it's what we have. It's just extreme weather conditions. It doesn't appear like it's going to change anytime soon. We have not stocked this fall. The water's very low. We're back down to 42 cubic feet per second this morning. And we would like to see, we want to stock, we have the money to stock, and we have the fish to stock. We just need to have water to put them into. I spoke to the hatchery this morning. He's going to take care of us this fall and all of the stockings for next spring. We may not have as many big, beautiful browns as we could get other years because of the water conditions for the growing rates of these fish. Their hatcheries are struggling just like everybody else. So this is a condition that we're dealing with, and it may not be over this year. These low water conditions tend to last for a period of time, 2 to 3 years. So hopefully that won't happen, but expect whatever nature throws to us, that's what we're going to have. So that being said, we're just waiting for rain. We had 1.25 inches of rain about a week ago, and we had 1/10 of an inch last night, but it's not enough. We're uneasy to put fish in. On the other hand, there's trout out there right now. John and I were looking at photographs of browns that people photographed. They caught these fish in Pine Creek. They look very healthy. It's amazing how these fish can find some little seepage somewhere and get through those terrible conditions. And they were really terrible this year. So we do have trout. There's not a lot of water for them to swim in. You know, Pine is pretty wide, so when you get 42 cubic feet of water per second and you spread that across 60 feet, there's not a lot of depth. So if you want to trout fish, come on up. The leaves were spectacular this fall. They were the most brilliant that I think I can remember in my life. It lasted for about 2.5 to 3 days, and then we got a rain and it dropped right off. But the maples were unbelievable this year. Now, right in the Slate Run area, we deal with a lot of primarily oak trees with some cherry and maple mixed into it. Slightly north of here, from Morris up through Wellsboro, was just unbelievably beautiful. So we had a great fall. The oaks have not really changed yet. The oaks kind of go into a golden yellow, then turn brown and hang there. They're not a real beautiful fall tree. But when you mix those in with the maples, come on first. The oaks are still nice and green. And it'll be another 1.5 weeks before they start to turn, 1 to 1.5 weeks. But the early leaves were spectacular. So that is past. We were hoping to have rain to, usually when the leaves come off, they get on the bottom of the stream and they cover the bottom. And fishing really seems to get extremely slow at that time of year. I'm not sure what causes that. I've heard every rumor from tannic acid buildup to whatever. I don't know what it is. It does happen every year. Then we get a rain that washes through and fishing picks up, and we have fairly good fishing into mid to late December, or the freeze up, whichever comes first. I have full intentions of putting fish in this fall, and we just need to have some water. So support the club. We've got the money to stock, and we're also going to need you to support us next spring when all of this breaks loose again, and hopefully we will have access to the fish and we will get them put in for you. So remember the Bob Weber tapes. We have Bob. Bob was instrumental in stories about Slate Run. He was the old fabled forester who lived with his wife out in a cabin 2.5 miles from the closest utility pole, and they lived a wonderful life. They both passed away. Jeff Swingholm has made an incredible documentary film on them and hopes to sell enough films to send a gentleman to forestry school. in recognition of Bob's service to, I guess, service to our soul. He did wonderful for the area and the forest, but I think Bob had a definite impact on us people that knew him, and on the people that just were aware of Bob because of the wonderful trail systems and the views and so on and so forth. So when you're in the store, we have Bob's videos on sale. We also have wonderful artwork about Bob and Dottie and their life in the woods. So come in when you're through here, stop in and take advantage of that. We will let you know when we stock, and if we have to put an emergency newsletter out, and it might come out 3 days after this, but when we get a significant rain and Pine gets higher flow than what it is, and we don't know what that might be, we don't want to obligate ourselves to, oh, it's got to be 100 cubic feet per second or 80 cubic feet. But when we look at it and feel that we've got the flow rate, we will put fish in. We're just in an extreme condition. That's life. In 1960s, the late 60s, I think 67, 68, 69, we had a flow rate of 17 cubic feet per second, which you could just about dry up with a large sponge. So this is not unusual for the north central part of the state. It happens. We don't have a lot of wonderful springs feeding Pine. It is a freestone stream. It's a lot of surface drainage, and that's what we enjoy. It's what makes it beautiful, but it also becomes annoying at times. There could be some forest fire extreme conditions this fall. So far now we are starting to get little showers moving through the area. The leaves are falling. We've had a lot of wind. Everything was bone dry, but hopefully if we don't get rain, we'll at least get showers to keep the forest fire conditions hopefully at a minimum, and where somebody doesn't flip a cigarette out or a match or something and create a catastrophic event. We've seen it in this area before. I do not want to see that again. So at any rate, support your club. We will be in touch shortly with you, hopefully telling you we're going to stock this coming Wednesday, but when that occurs, we will be in touch. Thank you.